This is Missy, Pushing Weight Fitness, coming to you part three of the I'm a TIA survivor. And I titled this message to be more of my story told by many. And the reason is because when I had my TIA, I didn't actually have many memories. I've lost a lot of time. The actual whole 24 hours that they say they can last was definitely a blur for me. So the things that I'm going to be talking about at this point are things that was told by the people that were there. One of the things that I remember is waking up extremely dizzy and nauseated. I think that's about where I left my blog. I remember getting up with everything in me and going to the restroom thinking that, I was going to get sick. And it took tons of strength and energy. And so I don't recall much. It was all kind of a blur. Next thing I know, on this trip, I had said in the blog that my daughter, my oldest, she's 23 now, so she was 20 years old then, and we had went down to my hometown to visit for the races, which we did frequently, so it was nothing out of the usual. And I remember that we usually go to the races and then we come back and we get up early that morning and go home. Well, I couldn't remember. Only thing I know is that I can remember hearing my daughter kind of getting aggravated because they were trying to get me to wake up. And it had probably been because we get home like anywhere from 2 to 3 in the morning. But at around 11 a.m., I still hadn't kind of made it off the couch at all. And I don't recall being very awake either. And I remember feeling her getting aggravated and hearing some things there. I don't remember anything after that except for a flash of they were saying that at this time I was walking to the vehicle, which I don't. I remember seeing my stepdad, but I don't remember what I was doing or any of that. So apparently, it took me 4 hours to get off the couch because now it's 5 p.m. and I'd started trying to wake up at 11 a.m. So basically what they told me is that, when I finally got up at 5, I had already had, maybe they thought was my blood sugar was low, so somewhere between 11 and 5 I had ate a sub, don't remember. My daughter had drove home, and she said we were low on fuel because I always stopped and got fuel on the way home, and she got my ATM card, stopped and got fuel. Don't remember. Only thing I can say I remember is being in the front seat and feeling the warmth of the sun on me. It was the strongest warmth I've ever felt, and that's one of the things they say when this happens is that your senses are heightened, and that warmth, I didn't really know if I was in heaven or what, but I remember having like the extreme warmth. And then again, this is hearsay, my daughter said we pulled in after getting the fuel, we got home, and I got out and came straight to the bedroom. I just threw open the door, dropped everything I had in my hands, and walked straight back to the room and lay down, shoes and all. I don't remember doing that. Only thing that I remember next is now it's Monday morning, and I remember the alarm going off and thinking, my gosh, I have to get ready and, go to work. And I remember trying to put my leg in a pair of my scrubs, and next thing I remember, my daughter's standing over me saying, I'm on the floor, out, and my daughter says to me, Mom, I think you need to go to the doctor now. So she drove me, and the physician looked me over, and her words were, I don't care where you go. You can go to North Florida, which is a hospital locally here, or you go to Shands, which is in Gainesville, another local hospital, but you can't be here. And she didn't realize that my daughter was as old as she was because she does look younger for her age. And I think she thought maybe she wasn't old enough to drive. And she says, did you drive yourself here? And I'm like, no, ma'am. I said, my daughter drove me. She's like, well, we could call an evac or, she can drive you, but we'll send you a letter. And, the nurse and me on the way there, I opened the letter and it had stated right then that patient, my vitals wasn't great and suspected TIA, and to go ahead and do MRIs and scans upon arrival. And I was just in shock. Like, I couldn't believe it. See, I didn't know what was happening to me. I know as a nurse, you know the symptoms, but you just don't always, apply them to yourself. So when I read that letter, I just got really quiet. And again, I'm still kind of in and out of it because, I'm still not through my 24 hours. So when I get to the hospital, I remember them hooking me up to things, and, I'm kind of in and out and stuff. And they did, let me go home because this all had happened prior, like the day before. So to catch them pretty much active, it has to be within 24 hours. And I was a little outside of that range. I was more in the 48-hour range. But I remember finally getting released, and I came home and laid down, and then I was well on my way to recovery mode at that point. I had several follow-up appointments with neurologists and things like that. So right there, I'm going to stop, and I'm going to pick up the series next time. Thanks for listening.